The Lake District, an isolated house rigged with 15 hidden cameras. Two psychologists, Mark McDermott and Phil Zimbardo, watching everything from a secret control room. And 12 participants who know they're taking part in a psychology program but don't know about our hidden agendas or our hidden cameras. Yesterday they arrived here from different parts of the country. We watched them forming first impressions of each other. We watched them take on challenges. We watched Richard finding it hard to fit in. And then steal as a result. All in all, they've bonded pretty well. But now it's 8 a.m. day 2, and we're about to change all that. We're going to divide them into 2 groups. How will that affect their behaviour?
Today we're splitting you into 2 groups. It's been decided that there'll be a group A and a group B.
I hadn't expected that. Because on the first day we did a lot of team building in a group, I think that I expected everyone to stay in a group.
From now on, the 2 teams are in competition with each other, OK? Isn't it going to undermine group spirit if we're going to be like, segregated?
So B group is the not-so-good group and A group is the good group.
We'll see.
The B's are Dave, Jones, Amit. Is that how you...
Well, you notice the atmosphere has changed. It was very gay and people laughing, a mix of apprehension, and now it's suddenly gotten serious. And they already know that there's a distinction, a dominance distinction. It's almost like grades in school. B is always worse than A.
A is better than B, Red's better than Blue, Manchester United are better than Liverpool, you know, better than Everton. It's just the way it is, isn't it? A is better than B.
Straight away, the fact that you're the B team as opposed to the A team, it makes you feel as if you're sort of lesser people, if you like.
The A team!
We've divided them randomly and given them different letters and colours to wear. And that's all we've done. But it's already changing things. A few minutes later, they sit down to breakfast. But notice how they sit.
This is interesting, as they've both sat down at different tables, and they weren't told to sit at tables according to the colour of their T-shirts. They've done this quite spontaneously.
It's kind of birds of a feather are flocking together.
Flocking together, yeah.
And only 15 minutes after they were divided. Soon, the first evidence of friction between the A's and a B team member, Julia, at the back of the queue for breakfast.
Queue?
It's always been this way before.
No, it hasn't.
Hang on. We're competing now, so if we want to do this side...
No, a queue is orderly, and it starts from that way and ends with
I need their breakfast.
Just simply putting different colours on completely separated the 2 teams straight away. We acted as the A team, they acted as the B team, and I think we tried to differentiate ourselves.
Would you pass, Thomas, would you pass the pepper, please?
Thomas, you're going to have to consent.
Look, you just took it from our table, so would you like to pass it, please? Thank you very much. Pepper, I said. Don't be silly.
I think that's why, for example, I was just half joking with Julia and I said, no, I won't pass you the salt. Just to get into the actual atmosphere, into the environment of being in our team.
Right, you're not going to win.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Now, no more helping that team. That's it.
So what we're seeing is a kind of ripple in the lake, if you will. We've thrown a stone into the lake in terms of assignment to the 2 arbitrary groups A and B. And just that simple thing, at 8 o'clock in the morning, just a short while after they've awoken, suddenly interesting group dynamics are emerging.
The group dynamics deteriorate after the day's first activity, a mid-morning canoe race, which, unknown to either team, we've rigged so the A's win. Now their victory is in dispute.
No, sorry, because if you think about it, no matter who came out of the place first, and they turned around and said, right, you're going with Dave, or you're going with Tom, Dick and Aaron, you're going down here, and we came round here. It doesn't matter where you are, it's the fact that it's up here. If you want to win, you've got to win. Yeah, but if you came out the dorms and you was told to go down, just down the bank.
That's got nothing to do with that. If we'd all gone up set off at the same time, you were you were already in the water. And we hadn't even got on the set.
There's no point in debating why you lost. You lost. Sorry, guys, but you lost.
Look at Richard. Yesterday he was an outsider, but simply by giving him a red jacket, he suddenly has a group to belong to. Now people are listening to him.
Stories. I mean, you had longer, you had a little bit more practice. I wasn't going to get any better. I'm not
George has
good at
already
that.
admitted that he wasn't prepared to win.
No,
he's already said he was the weak link.
At the end
so
of
he's
the day,
negatively thinking.
Can I just say that because we're all nice, strong, we're all mates. At the end of the day, people, congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Okay.
They've been in 2 teams for 3 hours, and already the harmony and high spirits of yesterday's bonding are evaporating. But things are about to get worse. Sharon thinks Julia's been ignoring her.
Julia, you've seen that you've got the right fucking arsehole.
There was definitely a lot of tension between Julia and Sharon. I thought there could be even a punch-up at one point.
Fucking ignorant. Turn about say, which is like 1 minute. Fucking ignorant.
Julia has sat down at the red table, and I think maybe some of the hostility toward her was that she didn't know her place. She made a big tactical mistake.
I said to you, Julie, you seem really fucked up and pissed off. Right, I know. And there's some fucking silence. I need help. Bollocks.
Even her own team members are just walking around her and not giving her any support at all.
The entire group was pretty tight with each other and everyone got along pretty well. And the fact that, we broke up and suddenly, like, a few hours later, we're kind of, like, at each other's throat almost. I was surprised by that. And suddenly that was, like, us against them.
And I certainly ain't going to stand there and take shit from a person that's...
So channel it
then,
channel it. If someone doesn't react in the way that she likes, she gets the hump and starts effing and blinding.
You always get one bad apple. As soon as you get one bad apple, it rots the whole cart.
And if you're going to start swearing and banging furniture and go over the hump, it's not a problem.
Julia's decision to sit at the wrong table means she's now been cold-shouldered by her own teammates. Behaving differently from your group can make you an outcast. In part 2, we return to our human zoo, where the power of groups has left a trail of conflict and Julia deserted by her own team. But this afternoon, the stakes are raised. Catherine learns the cost of betrayal.
She definitely is going to have to pay a price for that.
I had no idea how it was going to pan out.
So there's a very condescending smack on the face, which is really a symbolic slap.
I think she just wanted to vent her anger on somebody and I was the person.
Three hours after the participants in our human zoo were split into 2 groups, there's another canoe race, and the divide between the teams is firmly entrenched. The group ethos has been getting stronger by the minute. But Catherine is torn. She and George, from the other team, have become friends.
You're good.
I love you. You look good in blue anyway.
You look good in red.
Good. Well, we're happy then, aren't
Yes.
we?
As long as we look good at all times.
As long as we look good at all times. And we've got our clown's makeup.
Yes.
Excellent. I think you should better go to the team. But always remember that I love you.
And always remember I love you too.
Things are about to turn nasty.
I was a bit gutted about being separated from Catherine because I felt, because Catherine, Sian and I had sort of made a little clique, if you like, one of them was being taken away and leaving the other 2, but I had no idea how it was going to pan out.
Catherine and George take a big risk.
Oh my, here we go.
Running off into the woods together.
They're the little rebels. As innocent as it is, she definitely is going to have to pay a price for that.
George, you're a wet pipe.
Such bosom buddies!
I anticipate a really hostile reaction to her if she doesn't shape up very quickly.
Today's experiment is bearing more fruit, And within the hour, Phil Zimbardo's prediction will be realised. All eyes are now on Catherine, as day 2 of our human zoo becomes a study of what happens if you break the fundamental rule of all groups: be loyal. In our human zoo, those changes are already well advanced, and Catherine is about to suffer the consequences. In the middle of heated competition between the two groups, she's made a mistake. She's put her friendship with George from the other team before loyalty to her own team. Our resident psychologists have focused their attention on her.
As innocent as it is, she definitely is going to have to pay a price for that.
An hour later, Catherine openly flouts team boundaries yet again.
Right, in a moment, when you had a drink.
All I saw was that I was split away from George, which I thought was like totally intentional, which was fine. But then when it started getting a bit competitive and a bit heated, I thought, oh heck.
Kathy.
Listen to how the A-team describe her.
Yeah, I think we've got a defector.
We've got a defector.
Ah, there it is. There's the labelling.
What time does it get dark? We're on blue place.
Can we have a different...
We don't need it. No, we'll have fine. Take my Kathy.
I think we just have to make more of an effort, maybe not just as a team, maybe just everyone getting on together.
Yeah.
I think at the moment the group as a whole has just been like, ooh, I think we're here to have fun, we're here to have a good time.
No,
bit competitive,
they're
fun.
competing. You know, there's hundreds of people that didn't even get picked for this, and we're damn lucky to be picked. At the end of the day, if people can't accept it, that it's a task, and you win or lose, end of, at the end of the day.
I'm the one that's going, everybody smile, everybody be happy. I'll go and hug you because you're blue, I'll hug you because you're red, and I'll just love everybody.
Could have such a huggy, lovely person.
So there's a very condescending smack on the face, which is really a symbolic slap. Catherine is not only being humiliated in front of the red team members, she's being humiliated in front of the camera crew. And so they represent the outside world.
But it's got nothing to do with you, yeah? Don't think it's your fault.
It's so small, it really isn't worth even, you know. That's what I mean.
Well, that's why I'm just a bit pissed off because I don't know why it happened.
Well, exactly. None of us do. None of us do. We don't know what sparked this off.
No. So Catherine now is crying. Here's a really strong emotion, the consequence of feeling that she's being rejected. She wants to be liked not only by all of the A team, but the B team, and especially by George. And they're saying you can't have it all. You can't have it your way. You have to have it our way, or else. You know, looking at this reminds me of the Stanford Prison Experiment, which I did a number of years ago. In many ways, it's very similar.
In 1971, Phil Zimbardo conducted a revolutionary experiment here in the bowels of Stanford University in the United States. It rocked the world of psychology. A group of students were divided randomly into prisoners and guards and lived in a makeshift jail. The prisoners immediately became submissive, and the guards became cruel.
You're not only not getting a cigarette, but for as long as the cell's blockaded, you're...
Within a week, Phil Zimbardo's prison was inhumane, and the experiment had to be cut short. At one stage, prisoner 416 went on hunger strike in protest.
Get in that closet then.
So the guards put him in solitary confinement. Amazingly, his fellow prisoners turned on him too. They were given a chance to release him.
Now what will it be? What will it be over here? 416, you're going to be in there for a while. So just get used to it.
He is totally rejected, not only by the guards, but by his other group of prisoners. And it had a very powerful, profound effect on him. The interesting thing that I reflect back on is there's a direct parallel to the consequences of Catherine's rebelliousness, nonconformity.
Like prisoner 416, Catherine's about to feel the wrath of her own team. Groups don't take kindly to disloyalty.
Richard in particular felt that I wasn't being a particularly good team player because I was like conspiring with the other team, which I found totally stupid because I thought you've got to be mature about it, haven't you? And I just didn't get it at all. So they said, look, I think you should make more of an effort to be with the team. And Caroline said to me as well, you know, when we're competing, then you should be with the team. You shouldn't be going off talking to George, which I found really daft.
Remember, we only separated them into teams. We didn't ban them from socialising with each other. But not only is Catherine ordered to toe the party line, she's told to make a sacrifice, George.
But now people are getting very nasty and, like, you know, basically saying to Catherine she shouldn't talk to myself and Sian because we're on a different team. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's ridiculous. It's like, and it's bullying people and it's like unacceptable behaviour, especially from a bunch of grown adults.
There was a small glitch today between two of us, but I think that's helped us come together as a team and focus on our main goal, which is to win everything.
We've overcome that now. No, we've shed a few tears, but we've overcome that now.
To be quite honest with you, it's no one else's business who I talk to and who I choose not to talk to.
We've had a chat. Other people have basically said their views. But at the end of the day, you are a team.
Now we're all working very much together as a team, and we're thinking about things before we say things.
It's unnecessary behaviour, and it is, as far as I'm concerned, very school playground.
Under duress, Catherine seems to have changed her tune.
I thought the team worked well. Everyone was like, when I was in the car, everyone was cheering me on and everyone was cheering from the sidelines, helping people, and the support of the team and the support network that we had between us, I thought that was a really good thing.
The threat has been neutralised. Catherine has conformed. But loyalty has a price. Today, it's cost her friendship with George. This evening, though, the entire Blue team will pay a price. In part 3, Caroline turns up the heat.
They sulked about it.
I thought that was a bit low.
They just took it to heart.
We maintain the moral high ground.
That was really good.
Now she's enjoying the power, the real power that being a red has.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
But rebelling is exactly what the participants in our human zoo are doing.
Members of both teams are leading a little revolt here, trying to be one happy family like they were on day one.
3 along this side, 3 along that side, 3 along that side, 3 along that side.
But let's just see who sits with whom. So Catherine is sitting next to George, but she's on the red side, he's on the blue side.
And most of the Reds are, well, all of the Reds are sitting on the red side of the table.
So it's a very partial rebellion. Yes, they've said, we're not going to let you structure our eating tables, but then they themselves have voluntarily self-segregated.
I doubt these people are even aware that they have sat round the table in that way.
I honestly didn't notice the fact that we were sitting still in our blue and red teams, as opposed to just mixing around the table. We wanted to just make a point that we were going to, break some of the rules. But thinking about it, we should have sort of alternated, gone red, blue, red, blue.
I say to harmony, this group harmony. Cheers. And have a good time. Cheers.
It's a nice try, but things have already gone too far for group harmony. An hour later, we tell the A team they've beaten the B team in the day's activities. They're allowed to impose a forfeit of their choice. They opt for humiliation, cleaning boots and picking up cigarette ends outside. The Bs are put to work.
Charles, what are you doing there? I'm cleaning boots. Yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Moral high ground. And that is what the most important thing is. We maintain the moral high ground.
I thought that was a bit low, especially picking up the fags if you're not a smoker, but as it was, all the smokers picked up the fags. But I think there was a couple of us left to scrub the boots, which I wasn't particularly happy about.
That slightly got us not upset, but kind of just like, we're not really, we're on different teams, but we're not against each other, and we shouldn't be put in that situation.
We've seen that the Reds have made assumptions about the meaning of being in the A team. They think that it means that they are better than the Blues, but nevertheless, the Blues are complying with the situational rule to be humiliated in this way.
Yeah, cleaning somebody's boots is a very menial task. Picking up cigarette butts with your bare hands. They're not tedious tasks, but they're clearly menial.
Can you believe I knew they'd make us do this. They're so unkind.
I did feel guilty to some extent of making people clean my boots, and I really didn't want them to do that. I mean, I did say to Dave, and I said to him, I said, look, don't do my boots. If you don't want to do them, don't do them. I'll do them myself.
But Caroline, also from the A team, has no such qualms.
I'm competitive to the end, come what may, and what's the point of entering if you're not going to go for it and win? And we went for it. It was close, very close, but we won at the end, and now they've got to have a forfeit. Great. Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
That's the most animated I've seen Caroline. So now she's enjoying the power, the real power that being a red has.
Woo! That was really, really good, that. Best part of the day. And I have no problem with dealing the fact that they have to do it. No problem at all, as long as we win tomorrow.
And I think the other thing you see is a little bit of what we think of as the dark side of human nature seeping out. And again, this is clearly what we saw in the Stanford Prison study.
That was really good.
And it's going to make us even tougher tomorrow.
Yeah, that is really,
tomorrow
really
we're going to be really tough.
Tomorrow we're going to really go for it.
Carolyn would make a very good guard in my prison. There's no question about that. She might even be chief of the guards. And I'd feel comfortable that she'd run a very tight ship.
It was just their reaction. They were so funny. It was a major deal to them cleaning a few boots. So what? Why didn't they just get on with it and do it? You know, I just thought it was so funny. You know. So because I seen their reaction, I mean, I just thought it was hilarious. And I thought, right, well, come on, we'll show them a bit more. Come on, get on with it. Clean these boots, shape yourself. You know, because they wanted you. They just took it to heart. They just took it to heart, and they couldn't understand that it was. If they'd just got on with it and had a laugh about it and a joke about it, then it would have been all right. But they didn't. You know, they sulked about it.
Now my attention is really heavily focused on Caroline because tomorrow we're going to crank up the competition, the intergroup tension, and I anticipate Caroline is going to really begin to take over more and more a dominant role because she's just relishing it so much.
Phil Zimbardo is right to watch Caroline. Yesterday, butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. Today, she's had her first taste of power and liked it. Tomorrow, how far will she be prepared to go?
I want this clear, very clear. The A's are in charge.
Caroline did like a Jekyll and Hyde.
I like power.
Her eyes were sort of glaring.
I do like power.
Carolyn is not only who she first seemed to be.
Once you're up there and you get a feel for it, you don't mind staying there.
By lunchtime that day, she had an empire.
Some people take orders better than others, and some people give orders better than others.
Hello! You can't make us physically do it.
What you were seeing here is the beginning, the rise of a dictatorship.
Quiet!